Hey, happy Monday morning. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend off as much as I did. So, today I want to talk to you about kind of an important issue. Bad therapists happen to good people, and I certainly know. Back in the end of 2012, beginning 2013, what I once thought was a very good therapist turned into a really crappy therapist because he failed to see that my diagnosis was evolving, that I wasn't straightforward postpartum depression, and that I really was getting quite manic from my therapy. And with my family history, I flipped. I went full on mania and had bipolar disorder, as diagnosed, as you know, by 3 separate doctors. So at one point, to get some closure for myself, because I have no intentions of ever reaching out to this person, and different people may feel differently. Others of you may feel like you have to reach out, you have to have that closure, and kudos to you. I can't do it, but some people have to. I wrote a letter, Dear Former Therapist, and it's pretty simple. Dear former therapist, when you told me I needed to leave your practice today, because I was too surly, because I was too out of control, I was too beyond your help, did you know how sick I was? When you left my family and myself without a safety net, could you possibly understand the consequences that your actions were going to later have? Would you realize how many therapists were going to turn me down, citing that I was too acutely ill to accept into their practice? Would you know that once I found one willing to tackle the challenge of healing my mind, it would take over a month for me to actually be seen? Would you know that they too would still find me so ill they would demand that I agree to a higher level of care first before becoming a regular patient? Did you see the decline coming? Did you recognize what was happening woven into the surliness that you refused to work with? I wasn't sleeping save a few hours with a cocktail of medications. I was drinking to self-medicate feelings away. I was a waif of a human being, frail, scared, and unable to cope with the sight of my own shadow. I was a size 0. I was like a 10 or a 12 when you started working with me. Did you understand what diagnostic clues the trail of self-destruction was leading to? Were you able to see through the muddy waters of all my symptoms and recognize that the postpartum depression was now a misdiagnosis, and that my diagnosis had evolved, as diagnoses can do, and astute clinicians need to be able to pick up on the evolution of diagnoses? Could you have predicted that I would take my life on more than one occasion in the months that followed? Why did you not see with your expertise that my diagnosis was so much more than depression? Why did you not recognize that I needed a new treatment plan written for mania that I was experiencing, which we now know is bipolar 1 disorder? Did you even understand how much anger I have held in the ensuing years since towards you? Do you understand how much pain we could have avoided with a proper diagnosis, rather than a reluctance to work with me, rather than a reluctance to see me, to really see me for the lost, sick individual that I was? I write today, or back then, and now I talk to you today to not only ask you these questions, but to tell you I forgive you. I forgive you. Your mistake, your failure to properly diagnose me has not only made me stronger, but it's made me more determined to never accept inadequate care again, determined to always have my voice heard by my providers, and determined to ensure that patients never feel that they are alone in their journey, determined to create partnerships with my patients. For if the patient buys into their treatment, they are more likely to adhere to the plan over the long term, determined to foster autonomy in my patients when it is feasible, and recognize when it is not feasible for them. Bottom line is, I will not, and I never will, fit into that box you tried to place me in. Sincerely, your former patient. There's a lot of folks out there like me who feel that way, who feel that they were tried to place in a box that they didn't fit into. And it is up to good providers to recognize that they're not fitting into a box, that diagnoses can and do evolve over time, and for us to take that journey and help them see, okay, you know what? Plan A isn't working. This isn't what's happening, and we need to take a left turn here and take a different route and see if that's gonna work better for us. That's what we're supposed to do. Never, ever try and make a round peg fit into a square hole when it's not working, and then tell someone that they're too unruly to work with. Our patients deserve better. That almost had deadly outcome for me. And thank God it didn't. Thank God my new provider, my new psychiatrist, well, now he's like 4 years old, but still never chooses to give up on me. Instead, he's like, what do you need now? What works? What can I do for you? Where do we go from here? And he asks me those questions. And if he disagrees with my answer, I get to have dialogue with him about it. I get to have a say, and we get to we get to come to a mutually acceptable conclusion where I'm happy and he's happy, and we both feel that I'm going to be safe and well taken care of with the plan. And that's what I want for all of you, to find your voice and come to that kind of plan with your own providers. Whether you're a layperson, whether you're a provider with your own illness, we all deserve to be treated like humans who have self-determination and have autonomy and have that respected. Maybe you need to write your own Dear Former Therapist letter. Because like I said at the start, bad therapists happen to good people. It's a fact. And we need to take that control back and find our own good, wonderful therapists. Ones that are going to help us and take that journey with us. That's it for today. I will see you next time. And as always, if you are enjoying these talks, please like, please share, and most importantly, please subscribe. I'm Ann. This has been Bipolar and Me. Thank you so much for joining with us, and I will see you next time. Bye. Happy Monday.